Good evening. I invite everybody to take their seats. Thank you so much for being here tonight. In 2026, it feels more important than ever to hear the stories of what anti-Semitism wrought on our community, stories of human resilience, and stories of heroism, along with an incredible program of music. Many of you had the great honor of hearing Hirsch Grunstein, Zichrono Livracha, tell his story of survival at the Garden of the Righteous program 2 years ago. Hirsch was born on May 26, 1928 in Poland. His family moved to Antwerp, Belgium when he was 2. And during World War II, the Van Damme family hid him and his brother Solomon. You may remember from the stories that we told 2 years ago. He faced capture by the Flemish SS, but was later rescued and finally liberated by American forces in 1944. He immigrated to the United States in 1958, worked as an engineer, and later lived in New York City. He was married to Andrea, had 3 wonderful children, Eva, Ethan, and Judah, and beautiful grandchildren, and he was a member of this community. And now that he has passed on, we want to honor his memory by permanently naming the Garden of the Righteous program the Hirsch Grunstein Garden of the Righteous program. We hope that this will honor his memory for years to come. Tonight, one of the things I keep saying to both of my children is how important it is to hear from survivors that are still with us. They're living tribute, they're living stories of what it means to have lived through the most horrific time in Jewish life. Their resilience, the life that they've built after the war. And we are so blessed tonight to both celebrate a hero who is no more on this earth and to hear from a survivor who was deeply touched and saved by this particular person. I'm going to tell you much more. And then we're going to end our evening with an incredible musical tribute, Neshama Lighter, Songs of the Soul. We have 2 incredible guests with Zalman Lotek and Rabbi Avram Lotek, along with our Cantor Brown and our Flash Choir. So a little bit about Gertruda Truss Weissmuller, who we're going to see a short video about, which is just a taste of a longer movie that I want to encourage you to see. In December 1938, a Dutch social worker, Truss Weissmuller, played a pivotal role in one of the most significant child rescue efforts of the Holocaust, helping to save thousands of Jewish children from Nazi persecution through the Kindertransport program. After securing permission from the Nazi official Adolf Eichmann, she organized the transport of 600 children from Vienna to safety in England and the Netherlands. Over the next 18 months, working alongside rescuers such as Sir Nicholas Winton, who we have formerly honored in this program, Weissmuller became a central figure in coordinating additional transports across Europe. Through these efforts, the Kindertransport ultimately saved the lives of approximately 10,000 Jewish children. In 1966, Truss, also known as Tanta, was recognized as righteous among the nations by Yad Vashem, Israel's official Holocaust memorial. Truss Weissmuller's courage, determination, and compassion remind us of the power of individual action in the face of injustice, and I can't think of a story more important for the times that we are living in, what one single person can do to save thousands of lives. I want to invite you to the prompter above me.
Mrs. Weissmuller, she saved my life.
To be at the lion in his den, I mean, to face a man like Eichmann was an act of bravery in itself. But to also have the vision that you could save not just one or two, but thousands of young people, that is an act of brilliance.
One and only Mrs. Weissmuller. She made sure that we are safe when the Germans walked into Amsterdam.
She got me out of Germany into the Kindertransport to go to Holland. I had been looking all my life here in the United States to find the person that saved me, and by listening to other people and by doing reading and working in the Holocaust museums, I realized the person who saved me twice, not once, but twice, was Mrs. Weissmuller. She got me again to get on the last ship out of Holland into England.
And my appreciation, what she did not only for us, but for, God knows, countless number of people, and primarily children. And if I remember correctly, she referred to all as her children.
I can't even, I mean, she saved all of our lives, and you can't show enough gratitude. She was an amazing lady.
And I would throw myself at her and thank her with all my heart.
If you would have a chance to meet her again, what would you say to her?
Thank you.
How lucky are we to have one of Truce's children here tonight with us. I would like to invite up Isabel Bauer-Langsdorff, one of the children, and now one of the survivors whose life was saved through Weissmuller's efforts.
To read it because absolutely. Otherwise, let me just I would get nervous. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I will read this. Usually, I would make a dramatic thing, but I think tonight, I think I'll just read it. My name is Isabel Langsdorff, but my original name was Ilse Bauer. I was born in Frankfurt in November of 1937, where my birth mother, Ida Bauer, placed me for adoption. I spent the first 2 years of my life in a Jewish orphanage outside of Frankfurt. My mother did not survive the war, and for a while, it was not at all clear that I would owe my life to Truce, who saved my life not just once, but twice. In November of 1939, when I was 2, Truce brought me from the orphanage to the ship in Holland that was to bring me to Aruba, where I was to be adopted by Edgar and Anne Liebermann, a German-Jewish couple who had recently emigrated. Truce got me to the ship, the SS Simon Bolivar. But unfortunately, it hit 2 magnetic mines in the Northern Sea and sank, killing over 100 people. And I was badly injured in that accident too, and spent several months in a hospital in England. Meanwhile, my adopted parents were desperately trying to get me out of Europe. I returned to Holland in May 1940, where truth came to the rescue again, spiriting me out of Holland to Paris just hours before the Germans invaded. She got me aboard a train bound for Portugal before she turned around and went back to Holland to save more children. And she saved, as I said, thousands and thousands of children, but she also saved quite a few adults, by the way, besides children. I finally reached my adoptive parents, who had been interned on the islands of Bonaire, and that's that's the Dutch West Indies, where we stayed until the end of the war. We later moved to Venezuela. I studied in the United States, got married, and stayed. I don't remember the 2 times I stayed with Truth as a young child, but I did meet her again, once in Venezuela, once in New York, and once in Maryland. I was not a little child anymore at that point. I know she and her husband did not have children and were always happy to have children around. I had a correspondence with her housekeeper, Sitya, for many years. Because Mrs. Weissmiller was always on the road going back and forth, so it was very lucky to have Sitya there, and I have kept 1 or 2 of her letters I still have. Truth was an extraordinary woman, extremely courageous. She was a great example of how much an individual can do, even during terrible times. Without her and my family, my 3 children, 4 grandchildren, and great-granddaughter would not be here today, and I would be happy to answer any questions. And yes, I am a very, very lucky person to be alive. Thank you. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's just that I can't see the stuff. Well, yeah. Yeah. They're very decorative, but they're very decorative.
Isabel, if you would rise, I'd like for us to give you another round of applause and your whole family. For being here. Your story is a story of resilience 3 times over, and we are blessed to be in your presence. Thank you. We, as you're tonight after the second half of this program, when you're walking out on Quebec Street, as you make your way to Porter, you'll see, we don't go in the dark now, but you'll see on our Garden of the Righteous rock out there, Truus Weissmuller, there is now a plaque for her on our Garden of the Righteous stone, where for me, it's a daily reminder of what it means to do very simple human things to save those whose lives have been made inhuman for no reason at all, and how important that is still today in 2026 to remind ourselves every day of the difference that we can make in lives around us that need us. we're going to move to the second part of this program. For those of you who are sitting in the front rows, if you want to move back to be able to see the screen, which will hold lyrics and translations of the Yiddish music that our cantor and the Blowtex are going to be singing, please feel free to move a little bit back so that you can see the screen, or if you want to stay where you are, that's also completely okay. I'm going to pass this over to our wonderful cantor, Ariane Brown.
Der Gasnigen, the street melody, a melody heard in the streets of Warsaw before and during World War II. You can hear it in Molly Piccon's Yidel mitten Fiedel, last Yiddish film produced in Eastern Europe before the Holocaust.
This evening, we bring you an array of songs written, composed, and in some cases even performed during the Churban, Yiddish for destruction, or in Hebrew, the Shoah.
The songs you'll hear this evening were written by young people, as well as veteran writers, writing in their native language, Yiddish, the lingua franca of the 6 million. All throughout the war, Jews resisted. Many of the poets and writers themselves of tonight's material were fighters in the partisan movement.
The songs you'll hear come from wherever Jews lived, in ghettos, ghetto theaters, concentration and labor camps, death camps, forests, and in fighting.
Each song is a testimony, each melody a glimpse into the world we remember. These are Neshome Lieder, songs of spiritual resilience.
Rivkele de Shabbosdike, Rivka, the Sabbath One, a song of the Bialystock ghetto, written by Pesach Kaplan, a composer, writer, and editor of the Yiddish daily Das Letzte Neues, The New Life in Bialystok before World War II. He perished in the ghetto in 1943.
The term Shabbosdik means being fit for Shabbat. Traditionally, we imagine the Shabbos candles lit, a white tablecloth, a Kiddush cup adorning the table.
This song, Rivka di Shabbosdike, was inspired by the Sabbath of July 12, 1942, when 5,000 Jews were shot by the Nazis in the Bialystok ghetto. Women whose husbands were killed on that Sabbath day were called Shabbosdike, the Sabbath ones.
Rivkele di Shabbosdike arbeit in Fabrik, dreht vor dem zu vor dem flecht zu neu verstrick. Heute geht auf finstere, dauert schon zu lang, und das Herz so verklemmt, tut ihr so bang. Heute geht auf finstere, dauert schon zu lang, und das Herz so verklemmt, tut ihr so bang. Ihr getreuer Herrschele is weg nicht da, sind von jenen Schabison, sind von jener Show. Is vertreue Drivkele, jommelt Tag und Nacht, und at sind beim Redele, sitzt sie und sie tracht. Wo ist mein Lieblinger, lebt noch Chotschwu? Sie in Konzentrationlager, Arbeit schwer und Ruhe. Oi, wie finster ist ihm dort, bitter ist mir da. Sind von jenem Schabes und sind von jener Show. Oi, wie finster ist ihm dort, bitter ist mir da. Sind von jenem Schabison, sind von jener Show.
Yisrolik, or Little Israel, the song was first presented at a second public performance in the Vilna Ghetto in February 1942. Words are by Leib Rosenthal, who wrote a number of plays for review theaters. Rosenthal was drowned by the Germans in the Baltic Sea in January 1945.
He was 28 years old. His younger sister Chayala performed this song, starring in many reviews. She survived the war, afterwards emigrating to South Africa. The song was composed by Misha Wexler, the conductor of the Yiddish Theater Orchestra in the Vilna Ghetto, who met his death during the liquidation of the Vilna Ghetto in September 1943.
Nu kaufche Papyrossen, nu kaufche Sacharin, geworden ist ein scheure billig wert. A Leben für a Groschen, a Prutte a Verdienst, von Ghetto-Händler hat doch gehört. Ches Yisrolik, ich bin das Kind von Ghetto. Ches Yisrolik, a hefgedicke Jung, Chotsch verblieben, Kohle netto, der lang ich hals noch, a Swissche und a Sohn. Ches Yisrolik, ich bin das Kind von Ghetto. Ches Yisrolik, a hefgedicke Jung, Chotsch verblieben, Kohle netto, der lang ich hals noch, a Swissche und a Sohn. A Mantel und a Kragen, Tachtoinim von a Sack, Galoschen hab ich, es fällen noch die Schiech. Und wer es wird noch wagen, zu lachen neu a Sach, dem will ich nur weisen, wer bin ich. Geis Yisraelik, ich bin das Kind von Ghetto. Geis Yisraelik, a heftige Jung, Gotsch verblieben, Kohle netto, der lang ich als noch a Swistje und a Sohn. Nicht meint mich hat geboren, die heftige Gas, bei Tate Mame euch gewinn a Kind. Gebeten und geworden, nicht meint es ist ein Spaß. Ich bin geblieben wie im Feld der Wind. Geis Yisraelik, nur wenn keiner sagt nicht, wisch ich still sich von Heugar op a Träer, noch von mein Treuer, besser als mir jetzt nicht zu was der Monin und machen sagt sich schwer, noch von mein Treuer, besser als mir jetzt nicht zu was der Monin und machen sagt sich schwer. Hey, Geis Yisraelik, ich bin das Kind von Ghetto. Geis Yisraelik, a heftige Jung, Gotsch verblieben, Kohle netto, der lang ich hals noch, a Swistje und a Sohn. Oi, Gotsch verblieben, Kohle netto, der lang ich hals noch, a Swistje und a Sohn.
A Song of the Lodge Ghetto, written by Isaiah Spiegel, who survived the Lodge Ghetto in Auschwitz, moved to Israel. Music is by David Begelman, a well-known Yiddish theater composer, perished in gas chambers of Treblinka. Listen how the musical motive resembles that of a tango, showing how Jews incorporated musical styles of the time in their own way as a desire to preserve a vestige of normalcy, all the while hoping for better times. Mach zu die Egelach, hat kommen Fegelach, und kreisen da herum, zu Koppens von dein Weg, das Päckl in der Hand, das Haus in Asch und Brand. Wir lassen sich, mein Kind, suchen Glück.
Die Welt hat Gott vermacht und mit ist Nacht. Sie wart auf uns mit Scheuder und mit Schreck. Wir stehen beide da in schwerer Schau und weißen nicht wohin es führt der Weg. Men hat uns nacket bloß, verjagt von unser Haus. In Finsternis getrieben uns in Welt, und Sturm, Hagel, Wind hat uns begleitet, mein Kind. a song of the Vilna Ghetto by Shmerke Kaczerginski, written after the death of his wife Barbara in April 1943. Kaczerginski joined the partisan forces following the liquidation of the ghetto in September 1943. The music is by Abraham Brudno, who died after being deported to a German concentration camp in Estonia.
After the war, Shmerke Kaczerginski traveled across Eastern Europe, interviewing survivors wherever he might find them, and compiled a collection of several hundred songs. It is thanks to him, as well as the collecting efforts of people like my grandmother, Chana Mlotek, that we have the material you are hearing tonight.
This love ballad's Frühling, Springtime, expresses the grief and the heartache of Kaczerginski losing his love under these extraordinary circumstances.
Ich blonge in Ghetto von Gessel zu Gessel und kenn nicht gefinnen kein Ort. Nicht hoch ist mein Lieber, wie trogt men a Rieber, Menschen, ho sagt Gott Wort. Es leucht auf mein Heimhit, der Himmel, der Blauer, wo hab ich jetzt erfuhren. Ich steh wie a Bettler bei Adviten Treuer und bettel a bisschen a Sohn. Frühling, nimm zu mein Treuer und bring mein Liebsten, mein Treuen zurück. Auf deine Flügelbläue und nimm mein Herz mit und gib es ob mein Glück. Frühling, auf deine Flügelbläue und nimm mein Herz mit und gib es ob mein Glück. Geh zu der Arbeit, bei unser Stiebel, in Treuer, der Teuer von Macht. Der Tag zerhält die Blumen verwehrte, Sevianen, versäß euch Nacht. Von Nacht auf zurückwegs, es neuet der Treuer, da hast du liebster gewahrt, und da in dem Schatten noch kennt ich dein Trottis. Pflegst kuschen mich lieblich und satt. Frühling, nimm zu mein Treue und bring mein Liebsten, mein Treuen zurück. Gib es ob mein Glück. Sie ist ja der Frühling gar früh gekommen, zerblüht hat sich Bänkschaft nach dir. Ich seh dich wie jetzt der Balladen mit Blumen, a freudiger gehst du zu mir. Die Sonne hat vergossen dem Garten mit Strahlen, zerspratzt hat die Erde sich in Grün. Mein Treuer, mein Liebster, wo bist du verfahren? Du gehst mit der Reus von mein Sieg. Frühling, auf deine Flügelbläue
Moorsoldaten, the peat bog soldiers. Written in 1933 by political prisoners in the early Nazi concentration camp in Borgemore in Lower Saxony, Germany, created by 3 inmates, Johann Esser, Wolfgang Langhoff, and Rudi Gogel, the music. These men were among the first wave of people imprisoned after Hitler came to power.
August 1933, at the Borgemore camp. Here is Rudi Gogel, the songwriter's description of the first performance. The 16 singers, mostly members of the Solinger Workers' Choir, marched in holding spades over the shoulders of their green police uniforms, our prison uniforms at the time. I led the march in blue overalls with the handle of a broken spade for a conductor's baton. We sang, and by the end of the second verse, nearly all of the thousands of prisoners present gave voice to the chorus. This song is one of the earliest and most enduring examples of a neshama lida we have today.
Far and wide as the eye can wander, heath and bog are everywhere. Not a bird sings out to cheer us. Oaks are standing gaunt and bare. We are the peat bog soldiers. We're marching with our spades to the bog. We are the peat bog soldiers. We're marching with our spades to the bog. Up and down the guards are pacing. No one can go through. Flight would mean a sure death facing. Guns, barbed wire greet our view. We are the peat bog soldiers. We're marching with our spades to the bog. But for us, there is no complaining. Winter will in time be past. One day we shall cry, rejoicing, homeland dear, you're mine at last. Then will the peat bog soldiers march no more with their spades to the bog. Then will the peat bog soldiers march no more with their spades to the bog.
This song, written by Shmerke Kaczynski, was dedicated to the Children's and Youth Club of the Vilna Ghetto. The composer, Basia Rubin, who is believed to have survived the war, emigrated to Israel. This hymn was performed by the youth chorus during all meetings by children and teens hoping for a brighter future.
Unser Lied ist voll mit Treue, dreist ist unser Muntergang. Gott der Säune wacht beim Teuer, stürmt Jugend mit Gesang. Weil jung ist jeder, wer es will noch, Jahren haben kein Badeit. Alte kennen euch sein Kinder von einer neue, freie Zeit.
Weil jung ist jeder, wer es will noch, Jahren haben kein Badeit. Alte kennen euch sein Kinder von einer neue, freie Zeit. Wir gedenken alle Sonnen, wir Dämonen, alle Freund. Ewig wollen wir verbinden unsere Nächten mit dem Heid. Weil jung ist jeder, wer es will noch, Jahren haben kein Badeit. Alte kennen euch sein Kinder von einer neuen, freier Zeit.
A Song of the Vilna Ghetto by Kasriel Broido, young author and director of theater reviews. Broido was arrested by the Gestapo and deported to a Latvian concentration camp.
In January 1945, he was transferred to Germany and drowned in the Baltic Sea near Königsberg with hundreds of other Jews. Broida was 38 years old. Music by Janko Trupiansky, teacher, composer, who was deported from the ghetto in Estonia for hard labor. He died in a concentration camp in Germany at the age of 35.
Imagine the strength it took to envision the changing of seasons. Winter giving way to spring, dreaming of flowers blooming, to sing of the sun rays, and to long for freedom in this unspeakable climate.
Wie schwer es ist zu leben vorbei als ein Winter, von Dorten schmattes und kehrt. A Strahl hat sich schmutzendem Eis von mein Fenster gebracht, a Geruchs von der Welt. A Welt, wo's zerbliet sich mit weißigen Zwiet und Vögel haben gezwitschert a Lied. Nur bei uns ist grau und finster, es hängt der Humid auf die Welt, wo auf die Sonne uns karge Straben kleiben wir sie mit die Hand. Warmt uns die Spitzfingerle an, trocken mir a heim, strahlich lech Sohn. Und es wird uns etwas kringer, es wird sich singen, springen frei. Weg ist der Tate in Stadt auf der Arbeit, muss so weit nebig gehen. Wird mir heint bringen a frischigen Zweigel mit blätterlich grünen Geschehen. Nu wird es in reinigen Wasser stehen und es wird sich von Zweigel zerbliehen ab ihm. Nur bei uns ist grau und finster, es hängt der Humid auf die Welt, wo auf die Sonne uns karge Straben kleiben wir sie mit die Hand. Warmt uns die Spitzfingerle an, trocken mir a heim, strahlich lech Sohn. Und es wird uns etwas kringer, es wird sich singen, springen frei.
Still die Nacht, Still the Night was written by Hirsch Glick in 1942. A member of the literary group of young poets Jugendwald, Glick was imprisoned in a concentration camp in Estonia and killed by the Germans in 1944. He was 22 years old. The composer is unknown. The song was written after the partisans Itzik Motzkevich and Wittke Kempner blew up a German convoy of trucks. This was the first successful diversionary act by partisans of the Vilna ghetto. Still, die Nacht ist ausgesternt und der Frost hat stark gebrennt. Sie gedenkst du, wie ich hab dich gelernt. Halten a Speier in die Hand. Sie gedenkst du, wie ich hab dich gelernt. Halten a Speier in die Hand.
A Meut, a Pelzel und a Beret und Hand in Hand fest an a Gun. A Meut mit a Sammetenem Punem hit ob dem Säunes Karawan. A Meut mit a Sammetenem Punem
gezielt, geschossen und getroffen. Hat ihr kleinen Pistol an Euter auf Fullenken mit Waffen verhalten, hat sie mit ein Keul an Euter auf Fullenken mit Waffen verhalten, hat sie mit ein Keul. Vertag von Wald Reus gekrochen,
mit Schnee geladen auf die Haar,
gemutigt von Kleinigen mit Sorgen, war unser nahem freien Dor, gemutigt von Kleinigen mit Sorgen, war unser nahem freien Dor.
Vilna Ghetto, summer of 1943, songwriter Leib Rosenthal took an early German concentration camp song sung by Hans Eisler and adapted it.
This song speaks to the subversion of life's simplicities during the Nazi era. How parks, once free for Jews to roam, were now forbidden, and charges the listener to pay close attention, that life has a different rhythm when you know where you're headed and why. Es hat uns das Leben gerufen, das Leben von sonnigen Tag. Hat jeder in Land also im Munter gespannt und besonder gegangen in Weg. Zu 1, 2, 3, zu 1, 2, 3. Auf Arbeit in Weg sich gelost. Jeder Trott hat sein Klang, jeder Weg sein Gesang. Wenn du weißt, wo du gehst und was.
Es haben alte und junge das Leben gebeut und gehofft, bis es hat als schwer als verwischt von der Erde und gefühlt hat man uns wie die Schof. Zu 1, 2, 3, zu 1, 2, 3, so wie die Schof sich gelost.
Wo dein Weib, wo dein Kind, wo das ganze Gesind, keiner weiß nicht wohin und was. Na Bruder, ein anderer Ritten, wird bald zu dein Neuer gehen. Und die, was verschreckt, gewähren echt verschreckt, spannen mit uns nicht allein. Zu 1, 2, 3, zu 1, 2, 3, die Gästler dem Teuer verlost. So der Trott als Klang oder ein anderer Gesang, wenn du weißt, wo du gehst, schon verwusst. Moments of faith, Minuten von Betochen, a song of the Krakow ghetto, words and music by Mordechai Gebirtig. Gebirtig was such a popular songwriter before World War II that his songs were sung on both sides of the Atlantic. His songs painted vivid pictures of what Jewish life looked like before the war. He continued to write throughout the war, his later work ringing with a searing contempt for those responsible for the death of the Jews. He was shot by the Germans on June 4th, 1942. Jews, be joyous, wrote Gebirtig. There once was a Haman. His end awaits you. Have patience and faith. Let our enemies go to hell.
Jeden soll sein freilich, scheunet lang ich hoff. Sagt bald die Milchome, es kommt bald sehr sof.
Freilich noch nicht sorgen und nicht herumgehen trieb. Hat Geduld betochen und nimmt als unverlieb. Und nimmt als unverlieb. Ei, 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 und nimmt als unverlieb. Ei, 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 und nimmt als unverlieb.
Noch Geduld betochen, Mit Lost Reus von Hand, unser alt Kleiseien, was halt uns go benannt.
Goeie tanzt al jonem, schoin niet lang je hof. Je bent amol a homen, es wat auf ihm sein Sof, es wat auf ihm sein Sof. Hai, 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 da, da, es wat auf ihm sein Sof. Hai, 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 da, da, es wat auf ihm sein Sof. Goeie tanzt al jonem, leiden ken a jid.
Es wird die schwerste Arbeit uns kein Mal machen wird.
Kern soll sein Kern, Kols mein ihr wird sein.
Is ist was Kern, es wird doch nicht werden rein, es wird doch nicht werden rein. Hai, 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 da, da, es wird doch nicht werden rein. Hai, 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 da, da, es wird doch nicht werden rein.
Waschen soll sein waschen. Keins reute Fleck, Hevels Blut von Herzen, das wascht sich nicht weg.
Treibt uns von die Dieres, schneit uns ob die Bett. Jeden soll sein Freilach, wir haben sie in Dreht, wir haben sie in Dreht. Treibt uns von die Dieres, nur schneit uns ob die Bett. Jeden soll sein Freilach, wir haben sie in Dreht, wir haben sie in Dreht. Hai, 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 da, da, wir haben sie in Dreht. Hai, 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 da, da, wir haben sie in Dreht. Hai, 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 da, da, wir haben sie in Dreht. Hai, 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 da, da, wir haben sie in Dreht.
Here at Addis Israel and in Jewish communities around the world, we have the joy of witnessing our students become B'nai Mitzvah week after week. These rites of passage did not stop during the Holocaust. Imagine the courage that it took for an orphaned 13-year-old to celebrate becoming bar mitzvah in a displaced persons camp. And imagine the inspiration this provided to all those who were there to celebrate with him. We invite our very own Eli King to present the recorded words of an actual bar mitzvah speech.
I ask that my father and mother look down from heaven and see that I am becoming a bar mitzvah today, and I want them to know that my sister and I have remained good Jews and we will always be so. Ich bet, als der Tate und die Mame Sonne runter von Himmel und sah, wie ich wär, aber mit Weint. Und sonst wissen, dass die Schwester und ich sind eng geblieben, Gott in die ganze Jahr. Und mir will nie mehr so bleiben.
We invite the Addis Israel Flash Choir to join us on the bima for the partisan hymn. Hirsch Glick, the 22-year-old poet and partisan warrior of the Vilna Ghetto, came to the older and more established poet and partisan Shmerke Kaczerginsky to share a new song he wrote. That poem is what came to be known today as the Partisans Hymn, which Kaczerginsky called the second Hatikva of the Jewish people.
Written by Hirsch Glick, set to a melody by Russian composer Dmitry Pokras in the Vilna Ghetto, the song quickly became adopted as the anthem of the underground resistance movement. Later, it spread to other ghettos and partisan divisions, and was even sung among some of the survivors and fighters in Israel's War of Independence.
Today, it is sung at many commemorative gatherings around the world. It is perhaps the most well-known of the songs of the Holocaust. We invite you to rise in body or in spirit and to sing with us.
Sag nicht keinmal, als du gehst dem letzten Weg. Gott Himmeln bleien, verstellen bleie Tag. Kommen wird noch unser ausgebänkte Schau.
Es wird der Punkt und unser Trott mir seinen Tor.
Kommen wird noch unser ausgebänkte Schau. Es wird der Punkt und unser Trott mir seinen Tor. Von grünem Palmenland bis weißem Land von Schnee. Wir kommen an mit unser Pein, mit unser Weh. Und wo gefallen dieser Spritz von unser Blut, sprotzen wird dort unser Gewurre, unser Mut. Es wird die Morgens und begilden uns dem Heid. Und der Nächten wird verschwinden mit dem Feind. Nur unversammelt wird die Sonne in der Kajor. Wie ein Parol soll gehen das Lied von dort zu dort. Das Lied geschrieben ist mit Blut und nicht mit Blei. Es ist nicht kein Liedl von a Vogel auf der Frei. Das hört a Volk zwischen Fall und dicke Welt. Das Lied gesungen mit Naganes in die Hand. Das sag nicht keinmal, als du gehst den letzten Weg. Gott Himmeln bleien, verstellen bleie Tag. Kommen wird noch unser ausgebänkte Schau. Es wird abbeugt und unser Trott bis einen Tor. Kommen wird noch unser ausgebänkte Schau. Es wird abbeugt und unser Trott mir seinen Tor.
We invite you to remain standing for the El Malei Rachamim memorial prayer, followed by the mourner's Kaddish. El Malei Rachamim שוכן במרומים, חמצי מנוחה נכונה, תחת כנפי השכינה, במעלות קדושים וטהורים, כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים לנשמות כל אחינו בני ישראל שנטבחו בשואה, אנשים, נשים וטף שנחנקו ושנשרפו ושנהרגו, שמסרו את נפשם על קידוש השם. בגן עדן תהא מנוחתם. אנא בעל הרחמים, הסתירם בסתר כנפיך לעולמים, וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמותיהם. אדוני הוא נחלתם. ובשלום על משכבותיהם, ונאמר
Exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and pure to the souls of our brethren who perished in the Shoah, men, women, and children of the house of Israel who were slaughtered and suffocated and burned to ashes. May their memory endure and inspire deeds of charity and goodness in our lives. May their souls thus be bound up in the bond of life. May they rest in peace, and let us say, Amen. Yitzkadal v'yitzkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'yamru Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam omei omaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei d'kudesha brechu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran bi'alma v'yimru, Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, u'ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. We are going to conclude the program, as we always do, with the core of who we are, which is Am Yisrael Chai. That our life will continue to thrive, to live, to carry the memories of the souls who have perished, the music that is so incredible that we heard tonight. Thank you to both Rabbi Avram Lotek and to Zalman Lotek and to our own Cantor Arian Brown. And we are so grateful that Isabel was here tonight with us to share her story of survival and helping us to honor the memory of Truce, Tanta, and all of the children that she saved. Am Yisrael Chai.
This is a song, we invite you to sit. This is a song from the Displaced Persons Camp, written by Moshe Knaphais, a poet who survived the war, and music by Shmuel Berezovsky. Am Yisrael Chai, the Jewish people live, has been a rallying cry for the Jewish people for generations.
Effin Tier und effin Teuer, schon genug der Treuer, mit Fonnen flatter spannt sind die frei. Von die Bunkers, von die Lächer, steigen Wellen mir als Hecher, weil wir sagen, Am Yisrael Chai. Wieder uns gehen wird das Leben und mit der Tüten geben, wählen wir das Herz, was ist vorbei. Legt der Ziegel zu hat Ziegel, über uns gespräht die Fliegel, hat der Geurol Am Yisrael Chai. Es scheint die Sonne scheint wieder, durch Tränen scheint das Glück, zum Leben schwerste Brüder, wir kehren sich zurück.
Es scheint die Sonne scheint wieder, durch Tränen scheint das Glück, zum Leben Schwester, Brüder, wir kehren sich zurück. Wie viel Schrecks ist noch voranen, heldisch sind mir heus gestanden, Ghettos-Lag ist voll mit Pein, Geschrei. Jüdisch Volk geblieben sind mir, uns wird wieder unser Semmer, weit verkligen Am Yisrael Chai. Jüdisch loschen, Mame loschen, nicht verstummt und nicht verloschen, ois geschälte Scheun von Pein und Wein. Von die Aschen, von die Stäuben, wie Hafona reus gehäuben, haben wir es Am Yisrael Chai. Es scheint die Sonne schon wieder, durch Tränen scheint das Glück. Zum Leben, Schwester, Brüder, wir kehren sich zurück. Es scheint die Sonne scheint wieder, durch Tränen scheint das Glück. Zum Leben, Schwester, Brüder, wir kehren sich zurück. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai, Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael.